We like to believe that our lives are shaped by grand moments, the dramatic decisions, the pivotal opportunities, the strokes of luck or misfortune. But the truth is far more subtle and far more powerful. Your life is not built in the earthquake of a single event, but in the quiet accumulation of daily rituals. The way you start your morning, the thoughts you reinforce, the small choices you make repeatedly, these are the invisible threads weaving the tapestry of your destiny. Habits are the silent architects of our lives. They determine our health, our wealth, our relationships, and our happiness. And because they operate below the level of conscious thought, they often go unnoticed until their effects become undeniable. The good news? If you can change your habits, you can change your life. Not through sheer willpower or temporary motivation, but through understanding the science of behavior, designing smarter systems, and committing to the slow, steady work of transformation. How your brain builds autopilot behaviors. At the core of every habit lies a neurological loop, a three-part cycle that cements behaviors into automatic responses. This loop consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger that tells your brain to initiate a behavior. It could be a time of day, an emotional state, or a visual reminder. The routine is the behavior itself, the action you take, whether it's grabbing a sugary snack, scrolling through social media, or going for a run. The reward is the positive reinforcement your brain receives, which ensures the habit sticks. This loop is deeply embedded in our biology. The brain is always looking for ways to conserve energy, and habits are its way of outsourcing repetitive tasks to the subconscious. Once a habit is formed, the decision-making part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, goes offline, and the behavior becomes automatic. This is why bad habits feel so hard to break and good habits so hard to establish. But understanding this loop is the first step to rewiring it. The myth of self-control. Many people believe that changing habits is a matter of willpower, that if they could just muster enough discipline, they could break any bad habit or adopt any good one. But research tells a different story. Willpower is a finite resource, one that depletes with use. Every decision you make, every temptation you resist, drains your mental energy. By the end of the day, when fatigue sets in, willpower is often at its lowest. This explains why so many well-intentioned habit changes fail. People rely on motivation, which is fleeting, rather than systems, which are sustainable. They try to overhaul their entire lives overnight, only to burn out within weeks. The solution is not to depend on willpower, but to design environments and routines that make good habits inevitable and bad habits difficult. How tiny changes lead to massive results. One of the most counterintuitive truths about habit change is that small, seemingly insignificant actions, when repeated consistently, lead to extraordinary results. This is the principle of marginal gains. The idea that improving by just 1% every day compounds over time into something remarkable. Consider the example of reading. If you read just 10 pages a day, you'll complete roughly 12 books in a year. Over a decade, that's 120 books, enough to transform your knowledge, perspective, and even your career. Or take exercise. A daily 20-minute walk might seem trivial, but over a year it adds up to 121 hours of movement, dramatically improving cardiovascular health and mental well-being. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of small habits because the results aren't immediate. We live in a culture obsessed with quick fixes and overnight success, but real transformation happens in the quiet accumulation of daily effort. The secret to lasting change. Many people approach habit change by focusing solely on outcomes. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to save more money. I want to be more productive. But the most effective way to change habits is to shift your identity, to start believing in a new version of yourself. Instead of saying, I want to be a runner, say, I am a runner. Instead of thinking, I need to eat healthier, think, I am someone who values nourishing food. When your habits align with your self-image, they become effortless. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. Over time, these votes add up, and your identity reshapes itself around your new behaviors. How your surroundings shape your behavior. Few factors influence habits as powerfully as environment. You are not just a product of your willpower, you are a product of your surroundings. If you walk into a kitchen filled with junk food, you'll eat junk food. If your phone is within reach, you'll check it mindlessly. The easiest way to change a habit is to change the cues that trigger it. This is why designing your environment is crucial. Want to read more? Place a book on your nightstand. Want to eat healthier? Stock your fridge with nutritious options. Want to reduce screen time? Leave your phone in another room. By making good habits obvious and bad habits invisible, you remove the need for constant willpower. How long it really takes to form a habit. You've probably heard that it takes 21 days to form a habit. The truth is more nuanced. Research suggests that while some habits may take root in 3 weeks, others require much longer, up to 66 days or more, depending on complexity. A more practical approach is the 21-90 rule. Commit to a new habit for 21 days to build consistency, then continue for 90 days to make it a permanent lifestyle change. The key is not perfection, but persistence. Missing a day here and there is normal. What matters is returning to the habit without self-judgment. The art of replacement. Eliminating a bad habit is less about suppression and more about substitution. Since habits are driven by cues and rewards, the most effective strategy is to replace the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. For example, if stress triggers your habit of scrolling through social media, replace it with a healthier stress relief behavior, like deep breathing or a short walk. The cue and reward remain the same, but the routine changes. Over time, the new behavior becomes automatic. Where small actions lead. Over time, habits are like seeds. Plant one today, and you may see nothing tomorrow. But over months and years, that seed grows into something you can no longer ignore. The person who exercises daily, reads consistently, or saves money religiously doesn't just wake up one day transformed. Their results are the product of daily choices, compounded over time. This is why patience is essential. Most people give up on habits too soon because they don't see immediate results. But the magic happens in the accumulation. A single workout doesn't change your body, but a year of workouts does. A single book doesn't make you wise, but a lifetime of reading does. The lifelong journey of habit mastery. Changing your habits is not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. There will be setbacks, plateaus, and moments of doubt, but every day is a new opportunity to reinforce the behaviors that align with your highest self. Start small. Focus on one habit at a time. Design your environment for success. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. The person you want to become is not built in a day, but in the daily repetition of purposeful actions. Your habits are the invisible hands shaping your future. Choose them wisely. You will never change your life until you change your daily habits. Success isn't about luck. It's about small choices repeated over time. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Design your habits wisely, and your future self will thank you.